Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Joshino, and today we're going to be talking about Open Beta 67.5? Okay, so there's a big hotfix which is kind of its own mini patch coming tomorrow for all versions of Paladins. The console version should be updated tomorrow. I think they gave the time of 11 AM GMT going up. But the reason why it's more than a normal hotfix is there's balancing as well as bug squashing. Now I'm going to talk about the balancing first because this is rather big. The first big chopping block nerf is for MOJI. Both a Scamper and a Magic Barrier have had increased cooldowns. Scamper's gone up from 5 seconds to 7 seconds base, and Magic Barrier 7 to 10 seconds. Obviously there's cards in her kit to lower that, and also some of the cards interact with the abilities to lower the cooldowns. What this means is there's not so much crazy survivability that MOJIs are having at the moment. It is rather insane trying to deal with an emoji because they'll just self-heal with a Toot Legendary and the cards in their build, whilst also being quite maneuverable, on top of Magic Barrier being up so often. I think it's one of the things that's probably grinding a lot of people's gears at the moment. I've seen some pretty hateful comments about MOJI actually, and I think maybe they're fueled by perhaps a slight OP-ness this patch, but that's gone, folks. I don't think this is going to take MOJI out of the meta or get rid of her completely. You can still do the same things you could before, just not quite as often during this patch. Next up, there's 3 champions that have been nerfed with the cheesy speed builds. Another one that people are going to be so happy about is the cheesy speedy LEX is getting nerfed a lot. I actually saw a comment in one of my videos that said basically, Joshino, I love you and love your content, but screw you for making that LEX video because loads of people are using it. I don't think that's personally me that spread it to everybody, but yeah, it probably didn't help, so it's good that this is going. I don't necessarily think it was completely overpowered, more than it was completely annoying to deal with. So Assail, that's the card where you get movement speed during pursuit, has gone from 8% per level to 5%, so up to 25%. Conditioned from 5 to 3%, so you can only get up to 15% at the top. That's the base increased movement speed. And Inescapable from 7 to 5% movement speed when you're within the retribution target, close to the retribution target basically, and that's gone down to 25%. Whereas before it could have been 35%. So these decreases are sizable, but you could still run a speedier loadout or have extra speed built in. The same is happening to Leon. Divine Right, this is the movement speed after Grace going from 10% to 5%. That's a crazy reduction. So before you get 50%, now you get 25%. Highborn is from 5 to 3%, and that's where the base one. And Signet Ring from 10 to 7% when you use Presence. Signet Ring obviously because your Presence has quite a big cooldown, so it's got the least reduction there, but that's a big reduction overall too. Sky's also been hit, so Dissipate, that's the smoke bomb. When you move into the smoke, you get faster from 15 to 10% each level. Ninja's gone from 8 to 5%, this is basically speed whilst you're hidden. Slip Away is 5 to 3%. This is one way out of combat, and Victory Rush from 15 to 10%. This is one after you get a kill. I'm not gonna lie, I felt that Sky probably wasn't as crazy as the other ones. I think the problem with these cards is that they can be stacked in the first place, and in some ways it'd be kind of nice to have one movement card that you could use and stack relatively high, but not too high. But hey, I think overall these builds were just cheesy and annoying to deal with, and unlike, which I'm going to talk about later, the flank changes coming in OB68, where they're basically buffing the distance of blinks, dashes, and movement abilities, these cheesy builds where it almost looks like somebody's speed hacking and just sliding around the map wasn't fun to deal with and was a little broken. Be sure to let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, what you think about this balancing coming next, MOJI going, and the cheesy speedy builds going out the window. On skins, they're taking the Terminus Jotun and Strix Infiltrator, these are the really nice ones this patch, and popping them into the VIP store so you can buy them directly, or even you could grind them out. Obviously it's quite a long process to grind these out with VIP points, but if you do have boosters and stuff, then you might be able to actually just grind this out and grab them. Finally, on bug fixes, and some of these are quite big as well, I'm not going to go over all of the small nitty gritty changes, but the first fix is the reveal mechanic is fixed, that it will reveal through blinds. So if you're flashed, or if you're Maeve altered, and say a Cassie uses their ulti, you should now be able to see all the enemies. So the reveal mechanic should work properly now. Although they said there's more stuff coming in OB68 to try and straighten things out on that. They've also fixed a big bug that seems to happen a lot, and seemed to actually happen quite a bit to Androxus, where players would turn briefly invisible or would respawn invisible. And also apparently some players were stuck in the stealth mesh, so stealth characters getting stuck in their stealth in rare instances too, so that should all be fixed as well. Plus they fixed a rare crash on 32-bit version, so if you've been crashing recently on the 32-bit version, then maybe this is going to help you out. They've also fixed a bug where people were abusing being able to pick a new talent card or loadout once you reconnect to the match, so you could reconnect and try and change up your loadout depending on the situation. So that's fixed out there. I didn't actually know about that. That's interesting. They've done a load of UI fixes on things like ability text being cut off on some of the cards and things like that. They've updated loads of the outdated UI descriptions and also loading tips that may have not been relevant anymore, seeing as certain levels of cards were gone, or you didn't even have to grind things out. And an awesome thing that they're re-adding in is the import decks feature. So if you're new to the game or you haven't tried it out before, you used to be able to click on import decks, search for a name, or look at the top players and a certain champion and pick out a deck from them and import it to your own decks. Now, it's not always accurate because some people have some silly decks. I try and label my decks appropriately, so either like speedy build or reversal reset build. So if you ever want to look at my decks, then you can always type in Joshino and try and look for the ones that sound serious. Either way, I kind of hope that they expand on this at some point. It'd be nice to have something in-game where perhaps the pros or good players or even voting on certain loadouts could just be like built into this import loadout system. But you've always got other websites to do that too. Anyway, that is pretty much it from Open Beta 67.5. Obviously Open Beta 68 is still on the table. It's coming towards the end of this month. I think the announcement is on Friday the 23rd. I might be wrong, but they said the patch will go live towards the end of the month, which to me would mean the Wednesday after that. So I'm guessing there's going to be some announcement, the big announcement next week sometime. So that's to look forward to as well. I'm going to hit out with another video a little bit later on the flankers and the changes coming for Open Beta 68. So be sure to look out for that one. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe for all my content, and hit that bell icon to become part of the notification squad. Thank you all very much for watching. Till next time, Joshino.